Hey everyone, so this is a comparison between the best of HTC in HC10 against the best of LG in the LG V20. So let's get started by powering both these phones on. Now the 10 is a little bit old at this point, came out beginning of the year. And some people may argue that the Pixel is in fact an HTC phone because technically it is manufactured by them. But in terms of branding, no branding on the Pixel for HTC. So I still consider this your only major flagship device for HTC this year. LG, of course, did release two of them, the G5 and now the V20. So V20 first on the vote up here. And let's head on over to app page. Everything's closed out. And same for the 10. Alright, so it's going to wait a few seconds. There should be a pop-up notification here on the 10. Both these phones, pretty similar internals, both Snapdragon 820, both 4GB RAM. Now the V20 just launched with the first phone ever to have Android N 7.0. HTC still on Marshmallow. Once it's upgraded, then I'll provide an update video. Alright, there we go, there's a message. So first up, Temper Run 2. Now I did do a few practice tests here, so I have a pretty good idea of the results. And you see here the V20 easily winning this first test by around 5 seconds or so. Alright, let's check out some more. CNN. So V20 here. iFunny. Again, V20. YouTube. Again, V20 there. Oops, didn't mean to click on something. One sec. Alright, so V20 there. And we will be doing a lot more in this app opening, but for now, let's focus on this clock. So even the clock, you see a little faster on V20, eBay. V20, Asphalt 8, so another game here. So yeah, so far the V20, I must say, really impressed me. Didn't go in with high expectations because I didn't like the G5 that much. See here, easy win this test, but it's a really, really fast phone. Like the design a whole lot more than I did with the G5. That was the main complaint with the G5. Just really didn't like the plastic feel of it. But really like the way this Titan color looks. Beautiful looking phone, and the 10 is really beautiful as well. Let's continue here. Some photos. Looked like a tie to me. ESPN. This is a pretty slow loading app. Let's see. Alright, so first on the V20. And 10's up as well. Settings. Alright, so I ran into the benchmark and here are the results. So the 10, you see a score of 139,322 versus 144,955. So both really good scores, some of the highest you see on Android. So this is more in terms of, playing high-end games and stuff. But as you guys have seen from this test, actually maybe a pretty big difference in terms of day-to-day use. Next up, let's check out the cameras on both these. Alright, so with the HTC10, you're getting rear-facing 12 megapixels. With the V20, two different cameras, actually dual cameras, 16 megapixels. So let's check out the speed here, and we'll have an actual comparison of the cameras themselves. But for now, just check out the speed. Alright, so obviously both really fast. Kind of hard to tell because they have different animations to take the pictures. But honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, some of the phones, you may have like a second or two lag. But with these, not the case, so either way, it doesn't really matter. Next up, let's do some web browsing. And we're going to go to some sites I have not been to. So let's start off with, let's go to the SEC site, government site here, United States. All right, yeah, sec.gov. May actually do this. Okay, yeah, so faster here again on the V20. Let's do a couple more. Let's do newyork.com. And then after this, guys, we'll do some multitasking. Look at fingerprint scanner. All right, so just want to make sure we're going to the same site here. I guess we'll try out this. Might be a Google search, maybe not. All right, so yeah, again, V20 here. Let's do one more while we're on that topic. Let's do Broadway. All right, this is going to be the last one. Broadway right here. All right, so it looks like HTC is going to win this last one. But for the most part, I found the web browsing is faster on the V20. So it did win the first two there, lost the last one. We'll do one last one. Let's just do, we'll do times.com. Times of India, sure. So again, you see there V20, first one to vote up. All right, so next up, let's look at the fingerprint scanner. Now, I'm not a fan of the placement on the V20. It is here on the back, although I do really like it in terms of speed and accuracy. On the 10, it's located right here at the bottom. Oops, and miss it there on the V20. So we do that. All right. So personally, I am a bigger fan of the 10. Looks to be a little bit faster, easier to access. Though sometimes maybe not. All right, just a couple more. Then we'll move on to multitasking. Last one. Yeah, so you guys get the point. I mean, both really fast, but it's just a matter of placement. All right, so let's do some multitasking. And let's go back to the beginning. Let's load up Temp Run 2 again. All right, so really fast on both, as you guys can see. Oops. Now I'm just going to close out on both of them now. Next up, let's go back towards the beginning. Let's do CNN. All right, so interesting there. Look faster on 10, of course. Let's do a few more. iFunny. All right, so there the V20. eBay. V20. And there's two more. Let's bring back up the game. And last one. We'll do YouTube. All right, so faster there on HTC. In terms of most of the tests, of course, the V20 did dominate a lot of it, but in terms of multitasking, a little bit more mixed. So maybe they'll improve that a little bit with future updates for the LG. Let's take a look at the design of the phones, and then I'll go over the rest of the specs. So yeah, both beautiful phones, both mostly made of metal. Really premium material. Now, HTC is not one of my favorite phones because it lacks some things like waterproofing and a really good camera on the back. But in terms of design, it's beautiful. Easily one of the best, probably my top 3. So let's go more to specs. Both these screens, really high resolution. 513 pixels per inch for the V20 versus 565 for the 10. 5.2 inches versus 5.7 for the LG. Rear facing camera 12 megapixels versus 16 for the LG. The LG 16 megapixels. Both of them are rather, you have two dual front face, two rear facing cameras on the back there, so dual cameras. One of them gives you wide angle lens. Front facing camera, both 5 megapixels. If there's a storage, 32 or 64 for the HTC 64 for the LG. Both do have micro SD card support. 3000 capacity battery for the 10, 3200 for the LG. Also, the LG battery is removable. I'll show you that real quick. So just over here, it is easier to take this off than on the G5, which is kind of a pain. But you see, there's the battery. Both Snapdragon 820, both 4 GB of RAM, both USB-C at the bottom. Both do have headphone ports. About $600 for a 10. Starting at around $770 or so. Actually, a little bit less than that. Starting around $670 for the V20, but it can go up to as much around $800. And the V20 also, one of the big differences, haven't even talked about it yet, is the screen at the top. So you do have a second screen up here, and it's also treated as an always-on screen display. So both do have always-on, but a little bit harder to see it here. Oh, sorry, getting confused. I was thinking of the G5. So no always on for the HTC, but you do have one here, and you also have a second screen display here. And that is on when the phone's on. Let me show you that. So you see right now it's just listing Adam, just my name, but if you go like this, do have more options there. So pretty cool feature. So yeah, everyone, that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe for more like this in the future, especially if you want to see a rematch between these two phones when we get N on the HTC. Alright everyone, thanks again for watching, and let me know in the comment section what video you want to see next.